Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ferrix, and I'm joined here today by my co-caster Cardinal. Hello there, Cardinal.
How are you keeping, Ferrix? You well?
Not too bad now. Pretty good, pretty good. College stuff, same old. But we're here today to bring you this game between MU Crusaders and UL Wolves. Currently, all 5 players from each team have connected to the server, so we're just waiting for them to ready up, and then we're going to get into this matchup. But we're going to talk a little bit about what we're expecting to see in this game from both sides. And well, coming into this, from what I understand, Cardinal, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but neither team have actually won a game.
That is correct, unfortunately, yeah.
So both teams sitting, I think, 0 for 2 at the moment, both UL Wolves and Maynooth Crusaders. Now, bearing in mind, this is the Maynooth Crusaders B team, but let me just remind you of the game that UL Wolves had against, I think it was Trinity last week. Trinity obviously being one of the strongest teams in the tournament, but UL Wolves brought it to 14-16 loss in the end, so a very, very close game there from them. So they've shown that they have potential, and they're going to be looking to bring that into this game, I think. But the Maynooth B team, Maynooth Crusaders in the meanwhile, not looking particularly promising.
Yeah, that's just it. That's just it. But for both these teams, sitting at the bottom of their respective groups, it is an important game for them individually. It could be the difference between getting through to that next playoff stage and taking an early bus home.
Yeah.
But even as you just brought up there, Ferrix, the game between UL Wolves and Trinity just last week, UL were very unlucky. They actually had 6 rounds in their favor to put the game away and take the victory, and it looked like they kind of just choked towards the end, and either that or Trinity had figured them out and didn't go their way. Maybe the nerves could have been playing a little bit of a part there, but definitely going to be ones to watch in this game going forward. Anyway, we'll see who can take that first victory home.
Yeah, absolutely. Neither team wants to end out this tournament with 0 victories, and UL Wolves probably feeling very hungry after they were so close last week to winning out against one of the biggest teams of the tournament. But the map veto has gone through, and looks like we're going to be playing on Mirage, yet another Mirage. So let's talk a little bit about Mirage and the map itself. I know it's one of the most played maps, at least so far in this tournament, but I think it is a little bit of a CT map. You do have those fast, fairly safe rotates to either bomb site, but those it is quite easy to read those rotates, and especially with the opening of the skybox now, it's so easy to throw fakes from both the A and the B bomb site. So certainly those recent changes have helped deter us out a lot in terms of taking some map control and executing onto sites.
Yeah, absolutely. That's another key point is we've seen so far throughout this tournament, the utility usage across all teams is paramount, especially the teams that are stringing a couple of victories together. We see their utility usage and their kind of team cohesion coming out really, really strong. And just touching back on the kind of previous results, we have seen a decent bit of Mirage so far in this tournament, actually. It seems to be kind of a comfort pick for a lot of these teams. And like you said, that being CT sided, it's easy to take a T-side start if you win the knife round, try and get a couple of rounds on the board, and then you've got the easier side of the map then in the second half to kind of settle into. But just to note, I think it was last week actually, UCD A team and Maynooth actually played on Mirage, and that ended up 16-2 in favor of UCD, so didn't really go the way of Maynooth that time. So it's gonna be an interesting one now. Whether they've specifically prepared for Mirage could be something that they're planning on, and I think really what we're going to be looking for is their utility usage from both teams, and especially those T side executes we see kind of executes early on into the round onto the A bomb side pretty frequently. But one of the things we've kind of spotted with Maynooth is that they tend to leave it very late in the round to execute. We're looking at the last 35-25 seconds before they start to make a move. So if it goes their way, it's great. If it goes their way, they take control of the sites pretty quickly. But often than not now, we've seen counter utility coming out from the other teams and just puts them dead in their tracks. So coming into the knife round now, and we'll see who gets to pick on what side.
Looks like we're going to be coming into the knife round here, so let me just hop in game there for you guys. So we're going to be starting off with Maynooth on the CT side, but of course that could all change at the end of this knife round. First blood gonna go in favour of UL Wolves, and a second one as well. All the damage being done right now, and then into a 3-on-3, and every player currently right-clicked, but Tin spent most of that just watching a dead body. Sorry about that, but that's gonna be auto director for you. But so UL Wolves coming out on top, and looks like they're gonna Max calling for a switch. Doesn't look like it's up to him, so one of his teammates is gonna have to choose perhaps. Yeah, so they're gonna switch, so we're gonna see MU Crusaders starting out here on the T side, and UL Wolves gonna have to see if they can hold off some play on the CT side. These pistol rounds, of course, we've said it before, less impactful than they used to be, but still very important round, certainly in terms of confidence coming into the side. You get that pistol round, you know, you're thinking, okay, you know, we can do this.
Yeah, especially in these best of ones as well. I know the significance of the pistol round overall has been reduced, but in best of ones, every single round counts, and I'm going to be putting them on the board nice and early. So pretty decent default spread here, but all the T side, Maynooth have stacked over towards this A site. No utility though to note. Moon actually opted not to buy anything this round, which is could be a misbuy, could be a nerves or something we don't know. But here comes the flashbang now from UL and tapping away, but a little bit of damage been done. Silius Unicorn's going to get dropped by Zombinator now, and Tin trades one back, but a couple of bodies dying now. We'll bring it down to a 3-on-3, and Zombinator finds one. Can he get the second? He can't. He has to fall back and reload. And now Boobeer finds the first and the second. He's going to drop Metal as well, and all of a sudden we're in a 1-on-1. Tank has it all to do, but Boobeer takes him down, and that's going to be the pistol going over to Maynooth.
Yeah, very good round there from Maynooth. Well, I say that, but only one man in the end. But yeah, Kimber really coming out on top there for his team, or her team, based on the profile picture. We don't know. That being said, though, Maynooth will happily take that round, and forcing UL Wolves back onto just pistols. Again, we see that new economy coming in there. They're ecoing the second round, whereas before we would have seen a force, but it's going to be a fast rush. But UL are very well prepared for this, actually. Five-man hit pull to B site, and they're going to get one kill out of it so far. Looking for some more, but as soon as Unicorn coming in from short isn't going to find anything, but Tin takes that Zombinator, and well, this stack actually didn't work out so bad for UL in the end. They got 3 kills out of it, and Tin only surviving with 1 HP, so some really good economic damage done there coming into this round. But again, that SMG money for Maynooth is pretty huge at the moment. So, don't know who called the stack there for UL, but it was a good one. Great economic damage done. I'm gonna try and hop on auto director here if I can. Give me 1 second.
I think that was a great call from UL now. Whether they had something in mind that we didn't know, it's hard to say, but great call to take that gamble on the B bomb site and get everyone over there. They were actually very unlucky not to drop Tin as well. That could have been 4 frags going their way, so they are going to keep the economy of Maynooth at pay going into round number 3, and we see the 5 AKs coming out, but Frost has already got himself onto that AWP, so he's going to be one to watch, especially on Mirage. The Opera can be so mobile, and first frag comes out, and Mac is going to take an easy kill. Moon's going to go down, and Tin actually walks out and doesn't see anything at first, but Mac's going to take the second kill, and that's 2 kills going the way of UL now. Very uncontested. No utility coming in. Nothing at all, and Frost is going to find another. That's the 3rd for Mac now as well. And all of a sudden, it's just down to Jane and a 1 versus 5, and he's got the bomb, but doesn't look like they're going to be able to accomplish much now, and this round really slipped away from Maynooth very quickly, very early on. Seeing a lot of players dying with all their utility on them as well, so that's not ideal, but yeah, they're going to be scratching their heads a little bit at that one, I think.
Yeah, really poor play there from Maynooth. I think they just kind of, perhaps a little bit overconfident from those first 2 rounds, but they're just dry peeking everything, walking straight into Matt's crosshairs and Frost as well. Getting that op kill on the player coming up connector, so Maynooth kind of just no team play really at the moment. I think they're just kind of going out hoping that their aim will tide them over, but that's not going to happen, especially when you have Mac holding with that AUG from CT. He'll be taking those 3 kills all day long, but that's another thing to mention there is the AUG and the SG that we're starting to see come into play. Certainly more so the AUG, I think. We've seen Incipients using it a good bit on the UCDA team. And Max seems to be pretty happy using it here for UL Wolves as well. And that being said, he's just swapped over to an M4. But it's another interesting meta change that could really, really change how the game is played. Nonetheless, that round loss means that Maynooth are going to be put back onto pistols. Just a single flashbang for Tin and Deagle and a Tech 9. Looks like they're going to go for an A play. Maybe try to get the bomb down. And Zombie is going to be key here. He gets the first kill, but he gets tagged down very low. And Jane is there with the fast trade. And that's almost the A side, but Mac is still from CT finally looking for Metal with a nice double spray down. But Celius Unicorn is there with the trade. And he's in on a 1-on-3 round. Excuse me, but Mac doesn't want to let him get anything else into this round. So only 2 players go down there from UL. They'll be happy with that round, holding off that rush. Well played there from him, but Maynooth, nonetheless, 2 kills for them. So not a bad round for them either.
Yeah, and you know, it was unfortunate, I suppose, that the round went the way it did. UL set themselves up in a nice position. That was some great team play again. We're again, I keep touching back on that, but really the utility usage is very, very important on Mirage, especially early on in the round, trying to establish a little bit of mid control, whether or not you need to hang on to some key smokes or molotovs for your execute later on the T side. And actually a great shot coming in from the Silliest Unicorn. Metal's going to go down quite uncontested as well. There was no one in window room to trade him out or even pop a flashbang for him, so that's going to be the man advantage going over to MU very early on. They are going to collect the bomb now and they're heading towards the B bomb site.
Yeah, so it seems like a little, I think the team inexperience is showing at the moment from both sides, really, you know. Most likely these teams were only formed at the start of this academic year, so they're only a few months old and maybe not quite used to playing as a team just yet, but Tank's going to find 2 kills there on Apps onto Moon and Jane. We're down into a 3-on-3 and try to flash himself out. Does get out of Apps safely and nearly gets punished there. A little bit too late, but Kimber coming out from short, finds himself a second kill in this round, but Max there with a fast trade and back on the AUG again. He's trying to left alone on this side to try and hold off the push, and he's gonna go down to 10, and that's that bomb site, and it's just Zombinator left now. He's coming from the Apps area of the map, and well, MU seem to have this site on lock, but neither of them are looking towards the Apps. But as I say, that Celius Unicorn is checking that. He's playing from bench, so he should be the one to make first contact here. Zombinator slowly making his way up now. Trying to figure out where these players are playing. Spots the head of the player on bench, and there goes Celius Unicorn, and now it's just Tim in a 1-on-1. Great molly on the bomb there to hold off the defuse, but Zombinator is going to take it anyway, and he does have the kit, so this should be the defuse as well, and great
it's
1 versus 2 there. Will he get it? He does indeed.
Just about.
Great 1 versus 2 there from Zombinator. Very well played. He isolated the 1 versus 1s, and that was more than enough for him to find those 2 very crisp headshots, I might add. Very, very clean shots. And the kit was there to save the day as well. So, a 3rd round for UL Wolves on the board. A little bit messy from Maynooth there. They possibly could have played that a little bit better coming into the B site, but as we are, score stands 3-2 in favour of UL. Looks like we're going to see some mid-presence coming out here. Celius Unicorn just got tagged down. Metal peeking out from short, finds 2 kills and a 3rd through the smoke on Celius Unicorn. Great spell there from him, and Frost peeking from window is going to find the 4th as well. It's just Tim left alive. He's going to go down to tank in a very fast, very clean round there from UL. A little bit of an attempt at mid-control there from MU Crusaders, and completely and utterly shut down Metal with that triple spray down and 1 through the smoke as well. Very good play from him. A little bit of a throw around for Maynooth. Perhaps they're only on pistols, but nonetheless, they're going to be picking up 5 AKs again. Once again, we don't see an op coming out. Kimber possibly could have bought one, but Frost, again, just no util being thrown out here for Maynooth at the moment. Just Kimber just walking out mid there, and Frost will take kills like that all day long. So, it's just touching back on this thing of the teams being fairly new, so they're not quite used to playing with each other yet, so we don't see that sort of team play that you would see at a higher level of play coming out. No flashes, they're just dry peaks, and They're certainly being punished for that at the moment. Both sides, I might add, being punished at the moment, but especially Maynooth playing on that T side. So we're into a 5-on-4. Moon here has a good position. Sees the barrel of the gun and takes the head off of Frost. Got a little bit overly aggressive in window, perhaps. So back to a 4-on-4, which does slightly favour the T side, because unless we see some sort of stack, you know, we have a maximum of 2 players on a site and they can be easily overwhelmed by 4 players. Looks like it's going to be an A hit though. Metal just holding from short, meanwhile all 4 players, but look at this positioning from Moon at the moment is the perfect opportunity to catch off rotators, but he's going to be looking the wrong way. Metal's going to find the free kill onto him, but meanwhile the bomb has gone down on the A side. Tank still playing from short, nearly kills the planter, but unfortunately doesn't get there in time, so a 4-on-3 at the moment. This retake looking very good for UL at the moment, especially with that nade kill onto Jane. Just Silas, Unicorn and Tin. Very strong afterplan positions though. Holding from Apps and Ramp, and first kill going for Tin. Zominator gonna tap the bomb, and that forces out Silas Unicorn. And it forces out Tin as well, but Defuse is still coming in, and Tin can't quite get there in time. 5th round for UL Wolves, and great afterplan positions there from Maynooth, but unfortunately the numbers just overwhelmed them in the end, I think.
Yeah, it was just a case of UL having too many players. They were able to double peak every situation. They were able to take favourable engagements on the player ramp. They knew where everyone for Maynooth was. It was just a case of getting those nades out and peaking smart, which they did. It was great team play there. Like we talked about earlier on in the round, you know, Maynooth giving up these early picks early on. They're not making it easy for themselves, going down a man so early on every round, and they did manage to bring it back there. So if they even had a 3rd player, that could have been all up for grabs. It's going to be something we'll have to keep an eye on for the rest of this game. If they start keeping their players later on into the round and not taking those dry peaks mid against the AWP player for UL, you know, it could have gone either way, but hopefully now we'd start seeing some more utility usage, a little bit smarter play coming in, so that they can take these rounds all the way. And 5-2 the scoreline now. You know, it needs to be said, in the back of Maynooth's mind, they start putting a couple of rounds on the board, and we see now Jane and Silas Unicorn coming in with 2 big kills. And some smokes coming in. Frost is not going to be able to find a shot through the smoke, and it's going to go down. Metal trades one out now as well. We're down to 3-on-3. Not much HP left on the MU side. That nade from Metal though is not going to land, and he jumps up onto Ticket Booth, and he manages to find Tim but can't get the second. Jane trades him out, and now it's all on Frost. He's coming in from CT. He finds the first frag, and with that nade, he's not going to be looking the right way, and that's going to be a 3rd round going over to Maynooth.
That was a very, very close round there. I would have thought that Frost, based on where the smoke had just come from, would have known where the last Maynooth player was, but perhaps was a little bit confused. But nonetheless, Maynooth are going to take their 3rd round in very close fashion, but they're going to set up for an A take, it looks like. Standard smokes, and at the moment actually we'll only have one real dedicated A side player here, one anchor, and that's Zombinator holding from CT, but Mac looks like he's going to be holding, and actually 3 players here now. Fast rotate into the A side as the smokes come out from MU Crusaders, so they're in a good position to hold off this take, but they're completely just locked out by the smokes. Silas Unicorn finds Zombinator holding from CT, and that's really the sight. Frost catches Tin passing through the smoke there. Mac coming through the smoke is going to find himself 2 kills maybe, but it whiffs the second kill, and Kimber's going to find one, peeking out from under, is going to find the second one onto Frost, but Metal meanwhile coming up from ramp, and it's just Kimber left now, and Metal 2k from him to close out the round. Coming up from ramp, Maynooth seem to have forgotten where the players could come from. Everybody looking the wrong way at the wrong time, and UL make the retake work, and we go 6-3.
A little bit indecisive from MU there. Once their execute came in, it looks like they kind of slapped the brakes down and didn't commit to the full execute, and gave Metal enough time to rotate all the way from B side. He went the whole long way around through T spawn as well, and really threw a spanner in the works there. As you said, you know, everyone on MU seemed to be looking in a different direction, and ultimately that's a 3k gonna go over to Metal, and he'll take those every day of the week.
Yeah, unfortunate for Maynooth in the end, but it was little bit of a question to take. It was some nice smokes to lock UL out of the site once that player went down, but like you said, they just kind of seemed to take it too slowly almost. And it gave plenty of time for the UL players to rotate in, and Tin taking that peek doesn't get caught out for it, but we have an awful lot of mid presence right now, and Metal getting a little bit overly aggressive there on the short position is going to go down, and straight away that's the advantage to Maynooth. But Max there with the fast trade, Kimber getting boots up into jungle, takes out Frost, and Mac nearly doesn't find that kill, but Zombinator is going to hit the steps, and Silas Unicorn gets his head ripped off, and we're down into 3-on-2, but Maynooth still yet to find their way onto a site, currently holding in connector. Moon with the bomb on his back needs to group back up with his teammates. 2 players in the A site, so we definitely have the right idea at the moment, rushing towards this B site. It's just Tank here, holding from bench with that AK, and a little bit antsy. He's not sure where they're coming from. If he goes down here, that's a bomb plant, and that's a very big win from MU Crusaders in the next round. But Tank does get dinked, and he's going to find a second kill. Moon falling out of apps. Not going to be able to find the shot onto him. So good 2k there from Tank to close out the round for UL. 7-3, and UL now starting to run away with it a little bit, I think. Showing some of that prowess that we saw that got them 14 rounds against Trinity, and Maynooth currently almost being locked out of this half. They need to start winning rounds soon, excuse me. Else they're not going to have much of a chance on the CT side. Just running out, and Tin, 2 crisp headshots there, taking down 2 UL players, and Maynooth all of a sudden seem to have come alive. 3 very fast entries there onto the A side, just completely rolled over. Those dry peaks, no flashes, not really much indication that they were making a fast play at all. Coming out there, and one by one the UL players fall, and it's just a Zombinator and Tank left alone in a 2 versus 5, and the economy isn't great, so they're going to try and hold on to these weapons, both of them in the apps side of the map. And despite, you know, the relatively small number of rounds that Maynooth have, they've still done a pretty good job of keeping the economy of UL Wolves low, not allowing them to run away with it too much. So good 4th round for them on the board. Not a single player going down either, and Tin, that double headshot there early on into the round, really just sealing it straight away, Cardinal, I think.
Very fast executed. We even see before the smokes came out, they were already out onto the site, and Tetris in that sandwich position. Tin just found 2 very easy kills, to be quite honest, you know, and maybe their change of pace actually caught UL off guard there. You know, it's an interesting point. And one of the things that I want to point out that we haven't actually seen is it looks like no one on Maynooth is actually opting for the AWP on Mirage, which, you know, we've quite often seen on the T side as a very important gun to get established mid control, but Maynooth are not opting for it. Whether they don't feel comfortable or whether they don't think they need it is another question altogether. But there's a couple of kills coming in already, and now we're down to a 4-on-4. Moon is going to chime in. He's going to pick up Metal now, so man advantage going over to MU, and the rotate's going to come in, but will it come in fast enough? And Tin takes that peek. Frost in a very advantageous position, takes out 2. No one checking his angle, and he can't pick up the turret. He has to take out the pistol, but just down to Jane now in the 1-on-2. And it's all to play for. He's got the bomb, so he can opt to head back to B, or is he going to stay towards this A bomb site now? The UL players don't have a huge amount of utility left between them. Tank still got a smoke and his Molotov, so that could be crucial, but Jane, on the other hand, has got 2 flashbangs as well and the Molotov, so it's all to play for in this round now, and Maynooth are really looking to pick up that 5th round here. It's starting to get a little bit angsty. UL are starting to run away with a couple of rounds, as you mentioned, Ferex, but he's going to walk straight into the crosshair. Tank's not going to take that bait, and looks like he didn't leave it long enough to call out the bait over towards the B site, and that's going to be 8-4 now in favour of UL Wolves.
Yeah, Jane just playing the long game there, hoping to try and fake the UL players out, I think, but Tank wasn't budging. He held that angle for the longest time, and eventually Jane had to make a move. So 8-4, but both teams still a bit of a weak buy from UL, actually. An XM for Zombinator and only an MP5 for Metal, but they still might be able to make something work with it, especially Zombinator playing on that close ramp position. He's actually pushing up right now. He's gonna get an awful lot of information. There's 3 players here from Maynooth and mid, and they're gonna find Frost as he's coming back out of underpass, and that's mid control straight away. But they're just gonna fall off completely. This could be a very smart play now because UL
Zombinator
though is close around, gonna find the first kill, could get more if he plays his cards right, but doesn't look like he's gonna do it. Gets tagged down to the 19 HP, he's just gonna run away. But this is a smart play from Maynooth right now because UL are gonna be constantly worried about that mid position of the map. They're gonna be constantly worried about that flank. The Moon holding, and we go back again. Maynooth just playing around right now. Up to mid, back to A, back around to B, and a little bit of ring around the rosy at the moment, I think. But Zombinator aggressing once again with that XM, despite only having 19 HP, and he's getting a good amount of info right now. Clearing out Palace, and that smoke actually is a huge fake. That's going to pull Tank off the B side, and all of a sudden B side is open from MU Crusaders. A great fake there. A little bit of a overly aggressive rotate there from UL. Pushing in his gun from the kill onto Tank, and the bomb is going to go on the B side. And all of a sudden it's just UL in a 2 versus 4 now. And Zombinator are 19 HP, and they might just try and save this one, I think. Zombinator is so low. Might try and find an AK on ramp. He knows he got the kill there earlier on. Mac with the M4, going to try and do some economic damage, possibly. But that fake there, that single smoke from MU Crusaders, pulling the UL players off the B side and leaving it completely open, a free site for them to run in and plant. No contest whatsoever, so maybe something UL need to look at. Possibly they were just looking to take the risk, play the numbers game. They were in a 3-on-4, so they took the gamble, but unfortunately it didn't work out for them.
and Zombinator caused a lot of chaos with that shotgun in T-spawn, and you know, it could be said that maybe UL possibly thought that they were after causing so much confusion that they had the round in the bag already. Even though the numbers advantage wasn't going their way, they knew there was one player in Palace. He actually got dropped to 50 HP by the nade from Zombinator as well, so he dealt a lot of damage in that round. But like you said, that smoke grenade that came in just completely confused UL entirely, and they took the bait, hook, line and sinker all the way to the A-bomb site, and then freely ran onto the site, got the bomb down, and that was all she wrote. The round was going to be going to Maynooth's way anyway, especially with that man advantage. But see a little bit slower play now. Metal is actually getting very aggressive, just looking for information with his USP, and he's going to find it. 2 players now heading towards B, and he's actually going to find one. Moon does well to trade that out, but with just the USP, he's going to be very happy. And Zombinator, loads of information for his team. Tank is there, ready and waiting with that CZ, and
This round's starting to fall apart from Maynooth.
yeah, and Maynooth are going to be very upset that they lost this round when they know what they came up against. Just a couple of upgraded pistols, and Zombinator and Mac kept their AKs and M4s from the last round. That's going to be another frag. Tin is not looking the right way, and with the bomb down now, that's going to definitely be a 9th round unless Moon can do something huge. But Tank is ready and waiting for him, and that's going to be a round that UL had no reason winning, but managed to take it away anyway.
Yeah, incredible stuff there from UL. Saw that mid-info play from UL and got a kill with the USP out of it. Should not have been allowed to happen, I think, especially with 2 players there, but nonetheless. And I think just all the Maynooth players looking the wrong way at the wrong time. We saw particularly there Zombinator finding the frag onto, I think it was Tin, coming in through market, but a fast B play here coming out from Maynooth now, and with nade damage done there, but they get out anyway. And Tank on the fast flank, actually, sorry, playing from short is going to try to kill James there. 2 good kills from him, and that's the B side now. An auto sniper there from Frost, finding the bomb planter, and he's going to go down. All of a sudden it's just Moon now left in a 1 versus 3 at another fast-paced round there from Maynooth, but unfortunately this time for them it's not going to work out. And Max spots Moon crawling up short, and you have to feel that's almost the round done and dusted. Mac getting safely out of window as well. Moon only on 67 HP. Gonna try and find this kill before he aggresses any further up this short area, but nothing doing. He's gonna make his way out, and Zombinator playing around the box on this A site. Steps out and a very clean headshot there onto Moon to find the 10th round for UL Wolves. 10-5 at the half. Metal leading the way, 17 kills for him. But not really a major carry actually. All 5 UL players above 10 frags. So there a lot of team play coming in at the moment. Some good stuff there from them, and the story is pretty much the same for Maynooth actually. No real hard carry going on. But again, only one of them above 10 frags.
And if we want to talk actually just about that half, Eric's, what do MU do in this situation? They were only able to string 5 rounds together on the T side, and as we touched on at the beginning of the game, that it is slightly favoured for the CT side anyway, just due to the ease of the rotation from B to A and vice versa. But what do MU need to do on this CT side now if they want to start bringing themselves into the game and giving themselves a fighting chance?
Well, I'd start by winning off pistol. That's a good idea, I think. That gives them a 6th round and 7th round, and all of a sudden, you know, it's 10-7, and that's not such a big round difference. You win the first gun round, we're talking 10-10 almost. But
Definitely.
it all starts with this pistol round with 2 kits, interestingly, from Maynooth. Looks like they're going to put 1 on each site. A nade for Tin and a nade for Jane, and 3 sets of armor, and an awful lot of util actually here for UL as well. They've got 2 smokes, a molly, and a flash, so a very coordinated execute coming out here, I think, for UL. 2 smokes going to go down, and that's going to block off part of the B side, and all 5 players now here, and that nade is going to do a good deal of damage up to Frost and Zombinator, and Silas Unicorn finds the first kill, and tapped him away. He's not going to be able to find any more. He needs to reload, so he falls off onto short, and it's just Tin left on side. He's going to get flanked, caught in the side by 2 players, and Jane not going to find anything that USP. Eventually finds Tank, but missed an awful lot of shots there, and we're down to 3-on-4, and the HP is certainly favouring Maynooth at the moment, so this pistol round could go their way, and they do have kits as well. And Seals Unicorn not going to be able to find that kill, that second kill, sorry, on the Dominator, but Mac, great shot there onto Jane, excuse me, and another one onto Moon, and Mac, the UL captain, are really stepping up right now. It's just Kimber, he thinks he's at bench. Mac on 40 HP, and Kimber, dirty final shot there, and finds the kid as well, I think, picking it up off somebody's dead body, and he's going to have time for the defuse, and that was a filthy last shot there, Cardinal.
Through the box, and really, Kim had absolutely no idea how he hit that shot. That was absolutely insane. Huge flick coming in, and Mac just had to play the time. He knew there was only a few seconds left on the defuse, and Kim as well didn't even have the kit coming into that retake. Picked up, like you said, during the round, and that's... I really think UL are going to be disappointed now they couldn't convert that one, and their execute as well was flawless. But again, you can have the best execute in the world, and if you can't hit the headshots, if you get taken down early on in the round, it's all for naught really. But we see the buy coming in now, and a couple of SMGs. Jane actually opting for the scout on the CT side, and so this Unicorn's going to invest in the M4, so this is going to be wanting to hang on to that. But
this is quite an
see,
interesting
actually
buy
on the
right
UL
now.
side, yeah, interesting buy.
They've decided to force this one up. I've had enough money for an AK and 2 scouts. Interesting stuff from them. They're going to try and catch the Maynooth side out, I think, and that's exactly what they've done. Moon goes down to Zombinator in mid. And we're down into a 5-on-4. Mac, of course, UL star player with the AK. Tank is going to walk into Silas Unicorn's crosshairs. Finds an easy headshot, but he does get taken down to 21 HP in the process.
21 HP as well with that M4, and you gotta ask yourself the question, do you swap out the M4 for an SMG now and try and bring that into the next round and give it to one of your teammates? That's something that's worth thinking about in this situation, because you know, Maynooth don't have a huge amount of rounds to play with. They've only got so many mistakes they can make before they're looking at, you know, match point, and that's something now in these best of ones that you gotta constantly be thinking about. But UL are gonna walk quite easily into the bomb site actually, and Dominator's gonna manage to find the first frag. Took him a little while, but he knows there's another player in CT now, and here comes the rotate from MU, and they haven't got a huge amount of HP. And there's the scout shot, but can't even land the second. No, Frost is not gonna have it in the USP.
Oh dear! Oh dear!
And with James through the box as well, takes down Zominator. Great shot there as well, and there's the third. That's going to be a lovely retake from MU.
Very, very clean retake, yeah, and UL left that very, very late. If MU had been able to stop the bomb planter there was only 4 or 5 seconds left on the clock. That could have been the round for them. They left it very late, but nonetheless, like you said, Cardinal, a very, very, very clean retake there. Some great shots from Jay, and that last shot in particular. Great shot to find the head of the last UL player.
Yeah, and Frost was very unlucky that he did only tag up the MU player there towards jungle with the scout. If that could have been a frag now, that round could have gone either way, but still, that's going to be 10-7 now in favour of UL, but Maynooth are starting to close the gap, and oh, unfortunate nade from Kim, but happens to the best of us at times. Now,
I don't know what you're talking about. That never happens to me.
Never. But we are going to be looking at, it seems to be a set strat here. Looks like UL are waiting for the clock to tick down, but here come the smokes and just a couple of pistols. They're going to be trying to cause as much economic damage as they can this round and try and quell the economy of MU, but Tank is going to find a key frag there, and he's going to drop Kim, and with these smokes now causing a bit of trouble. Metal is in a great position here. Can he get the reload in? He can't. Silius Unicorn's going to trade him out. And Zominator's going to find another one with that Deagle. Can he find a second? He can't. Silius Unicorn's going to drop him as well, and now it's all on Mac and Tank. But with all this damage, he's going to find one, and Mac takes out Silius Unicorn and Jane as well with that. Now Tank is in sandwich, and Mac doesn't even need him.
Mac going huge there. That second shot was, the Deagle was insane, and well, the UL team captain coming up huge there to give them their 11th round in a round they had no business winning, I think. That push through the smoke there by Moon was a little bit crazy. Caused a lot of chaos on the CT side. Wasted a lot of time as well. That was a crazy round.
And UL managed to, like you said, they caused enough chaos that they started to cause a bit of confusion for MU, and they didn't know which way to look, and Smoke's causing havoc, and just a few pistols now. This is going to be a very quick round, and we're going to see UL hit 12 rounds, I think, and 12-7 now with heading into the 20th round. We're starting to look at towards the end of the game, and it seems like MU are kind of scratching their heads. They don't know what to do about these executes from UL, and Frost tapping away there. A little bit of help from his teammate as well. That's going to be Jane go down, and 12-7 now heading into the 20th round. What do MU do? How do they stop these pushes and these executes from UL? It seems like they haven't got the coordination to counterflash to stop this utility usage, and it's going to be a tough one if they're going to bring this back.
Yeah, Mac is just going off right now. He's having the time of his life, I think. He's really stepped up in these last few rounds, but Jane gets tagged up there in the middle, peeking out, down to 14 HP. Very lucky to escape with his life, but Metal nades. Gets the kill. Here we go. Oh, here we go. But I think Kimber and Sinus Unicorn, not quite sure what happened there. Playing in front of the smoke, not able to find a single frag, and Tank stepping out of a palace finds Moon looking the wrong way. He'd taken up another aggressive position, so a very aggressive round there from Maynooth, actually. Playing in front of smokes, playing close to ramp, etc., and they get completely punished for it. Just 10 left, and 1 versus 5. And they know exactly where he is, but Jane hanging around there in middle a little bit too long, I think. Despite only being, what was it, 14 HP, still hanging around, and gets taken down by that nade, so a little bit of questionable play there from him. But UL kind of starting to run away with it now, I think. 13 rounds for them. They've won the last 3 rounds after Maynooth's initial 2, so
yeah, Maynooth are definitely going to be getting a little bit hot under the collar at this point now. They've got a bit of a mountain to climb if they want to bring it all the way, and even take it to overtime at this point would be a miracle, it looks like, but still, they're going to be trying their best, and Kim is actually moving out mid now, all the way too short. Going to be finding a little bit of information. That's quite key, but a lot of MU players towards this A-bomb site, whether you well know it or not, but that's a lovely shot from Frost in the smoke, and Metal's going to come in and find his own frag, and through the smoke, oh my word, this is going to be a slaughterfest, like shooting fish in a barrel there for UL. They're going to take that round nice and clean, not a single player falling, and yeah, MU have got an absolute mountain to climb if they want to bring it all the way.
yeah, Metal going big down that round, that double spray down through the smoke. Not often you see that sort of thing at this level of play, but Metal does it anyway. He's on 22 frags now, so he's enjoying himself as well. But yeah, like you said, Maynooth seem to be a little bit dazed and confused at the moment. I think they're just getting completely shut down by this ULT side. Looks like we're going to see a little bit of mid-control coming out. Mac watching that connector position with the SG. And
One of the things to really look at from the MU side is that you can tell their confidence is a little bit shaken. We saw a couple of rounds ago Jane with the AWP just shoulder peaked mid and didn't actually get anything for it except being dropped to 14 HP. But here's another frag coming in for UL, and a lot of these kills are going very uncontested.
Kimber had an awful lot of info there for Maynooth, allowed all four of them to rotate over to the B site, but with him going down, they need to fall off now and they need to split up a little bit because UL could go back to A. But Moon there, I think, just spots the shoulder of Zombinator. And he finds the first kill onto Metal, but Zombinator's there with the fast trade. 4 on 3 now as UL. Looks like Bomb's actually going to go back towards the A side of the map, which is the right call in this situation because all 3 players from Maynooth are still on this B site, but they need to get a move on because sooner or later they're going to realize something is up. But still no rotate coming in. Eventually now, there goes Tin rotating back over, and Jane's going to follow him as well, but they're too little too late. I think UL already have the site, and Bomb is going to get planted. Frost to smoke off CT. Find a nice kill there onto Silly's going to go on short. Great flick there from him, and it's just Jane and Tin now in the 4 versus 2, and Bomb is finally gonna go down. And Frost cleaning up the round there. 2 more kills for him with the AWP, and he'll be very, very happy with that. And we now are on to match point for UL Wolves, and 3 of their players on 20 or more frags, and the other 2 not so far behind.
Very dominant performance so far from everyone on UL. They're supporting each other and playing very, very well as a team, and we don't even see anyone really lagging behind in kills. Obviously, Metal and Co leading the way on the scoreboard, but you can see they're just playing with so much confidence. They have absolutely no problem taking all these engagements, utility or not. Down to a 5 on 2 now, and things are looking grim for MU, and Moon is going to trade one out, but it's left down to the silliest unicorn in a 1 versus 4, just the UMP, and this could be it. He's going to find one, Tank's going to fall, but very, very unlikely here. And there it is, Metal takes him down, and that's going to be 16-7.
There's the game. UL looked pretty strong throughout. Very, very good. I mean, we did see at one point that they lost the initial pistol round. They went 2-0 down, but they came back fast and strong with 5 rounds, and they just kind of dominated their CT side from there on. We saw 10-5 at the half in the end, and 6 rounds in a row there at the end to close out the game. Very, very convincing stuff from them. Mac, the captain, on 22 kills, only 9 deaths as well. Very strong performance from him. Metal and Zombinator, 23 kills and 21 respectively. So, yeah, very, very good game from the UL side. Not that competitive in the end, a little bit boring to watch perhaps, but UL gonna take their first win in this series, showing that that Trinity game wasn't just a once-off, wasn't just a fluke performance. They are a little bit of a force to be reckoned with in this tournament.
Absolutely, and we can see as well they're obviously favouring Mirage, and similarly against Trinity, you know, they took that all the way to 14-16. They were unlucky that they couldn't close it out, but a couple of times we saw, especially in the T side pistol round, you know, they've got a lot of executes and they've got a lot of smokes and flashes prepared, so you know they are definitely practicing a lot. All these teams are, but it was very interesting to see how they've developed over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, so with that, I think we're gonna close down the stream.
So this is week number 4, I believe, of the rounds for X. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think we're in week number 4 now, so we are coming towards the end of the best of 1 stage, and you know these teams are going to be looking towards the playoffs and trying to secure a spot. So it is all to play for in these games, even though they are just best of 1. You know, it's over very quick and fast, but all these teams are going to be looking forward to the playoff stages where we can get a little bit more longer games and we see more tactics coming through. But it was a great game all around.
Yeah, it was a little bit of an interesting game to watch, nonetheless. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Those best of 3 games is really what's going to separate the men from the boys. I think we're going to start to see who's got, the deeper map pool, because we have seen an awful lot of Mirage so far, so a few cash games thrown in there, that sort of thing. So once we get into these best of 3s, we'll really start to see, who's been practicing their maps, who's been focusing not too much on one particular map and that sort of thing. So that'll definitely be something to look forward to coming into these best of 3 series. But I think we have these are the last set of rounds of the group stages, I believe. We still have a few more games to play, from what I understand. My insider information tells me that the UCDA team do have another game to play, so expect that to be casted at some point this week or next week, depending on when they can get it organised for.
Hopefully.
But I think that's all I have to say on the matter. Cardinal, I don't know if you have any final words of wisdom for us.
No, I don't believe so. I think that's everything. And like Ferrex just said, you probably will be back Wednesday evening again as scheduled. Keep up to date. Make sure to follow the channel and turn on the alerts, making sure you know whenever we go live. And just before we finish up for the night, I would also like to thank our sponsor, Marvin.ie, #1 delivery service for esports professionals. Definitely check them out. But other than that, I had a great time this evening. Thanks very much, Ferrex, for joining me. And we'll see everybody we see everybody during the week, I hope.
Thank you for joining me, Mr. Cardinal. And as he says, we'll see you again later on in the week. So don't go away. Goodbye.